Hi, I'm Judd, the owner of Adrenalin Industries, and I'm here today to introduce to you all our newest Overland Series build. I'm excited to highlight some of the changes that we've made on our newest edition. First off, we decided to try something that we haven't done before on the F550 build, and that was to go with the gasoline, the monster Godzilla motor. And obviously, you know, we are concerned about power, mainly torque. The diesels have so much torque, they're made to tow, but also realizing there's some big time limitations. To me, the biggest limitation is its ability to travel outside of North America. Is you get into Mexico, you know, obviously Central America, South America, you're not going to be able to get the same fuel that we're used to here, or not that we're used to, the truck's used to. So because of that, you get into some diesel that's not low sulfur. All of a sudden now that diesel truck goes into limp mode, and that makes for about a 9-mile-an-hour drive all the way home. But the gasoline motor on a 10-speed transmission really surprised us. It's actually just getting a little bit less miles per gallon than the diesel version, and gasoline is so much less expensive that the cost of ownership of this truck is actually far less than the diesel. And it's $10,000 cheaper for the truck. You know, it's a $10,000 upgrade to buy that diesel motor. I noticed on the diesel trucks that we've built, especially the Ford with the 10-speed, is that I wasn't really thrilled with them off-road when you're like in the sand dunes or climbing a steep grade, is it seemed to always choose too tall of a gear. And so if I manually shifted it on the column and, you know, used the manual shift, it was fine. But there's a lot of people that don't know how to do that, or it's just a little too complicated for them. The 10-speed had a better shift pattern to it, and it revs so much higher. So when we took this to the sand dunes and tested it to its limits, we really wanted to see how it would perform. This way outperformed the diesel version of the same truck. I think just that high RPMs, the high revs, that high horsepower that the gas motor provide, it was a better choice off-road. So kind of torn 50-50 on what is the best truck. I mean, for sure for international travel, no question I would go with this gas baby here. If I was towing a trailer, since we're set up with our hitch, you know, extend the frame rail, so we derated a little bit, but we're still have our towing capacity at 14,000 pounds. If I was towing in North America a lot, I would probably still lean towards the diesel. All right, so let's start talking about all the exterior features on this truck. Starting here with the nose of the truck, we've got massive buckstop steel bumper on here. They do a great job, very high quality. Not cutting corners on this truck. You know, when you're spending this kind of money on a truck, we want the best that we can get. And so we also on this build chose the Baja Design lights. Roughly, I mean, we're way over $10,000 in lights on this truck. So this truck can light up the world. Also, you know, you've got your options of having the amber lights. Those are so great when you're off-road in a dusty situation, or even driving in a snowstorm. You don't get that reflection near as bad back as you do with your, you know, clear lights, your white lights. So chose those. Got a 20,000 pound come up winch here in the front as well. That's about as big of a winch as we can put on this truck, so we thought that was important to choose. And then also got these durable buckstop fender flares that really help try and keep the truck clean, keep any rocks or gravel you might get from damaging the truck. So heavy duty but light aluminum buckstop wheel. We chose the Goodyear tires on this build. Really love these tires. They don't hum hardly at all on the highway, but yet they still have, you know, pretty good lugs on them to eject the mud and things. And again, that's another advantage of the gas motor, is you have so much horsepower at the stuff that when you're going through the soup or something, you're able to, these tires will eject that mud so much better than having a closed tread. But I think it's a good compromise. It's good on and off road. Moving now to liquid springs. We just love liquid springs. Like, we actually chose our chassis based on liquid springs. So people have asked if we would build on like International or the new Chevy, you know, their medium duty trucks, and we won't. And until Liquid Springs has an option for them, that's why. Is this Liquid Springs completely changes how well this truck rides. A 5500 truck will normally beat you to death. I mean, it's made for hauling hay for the ranchers or turn into a dump truck. It just beats you to death. Like when we pick these trucks up from the dealer and drive them to our shop to start the build, it kills you in that short amount of distance, like, because there's no load on them too, but they're just miserable. So Liquid Springs is a must. We're not building a 5500 or Overland Series without Liquid Springs. They also, we've talked a lot about how great they are off-road, but on-road's equally as important, because that's really, no matter how adventurous someone thinks they are, they're going to spend most of their time on, you know, asphalt. And with the Liquid Springs, the sensors read the road, it reads the steering input, and so I can't believe how little body roll. Like if you're going up a canyon, normally in large overland expedition type trucks, you're so close to your GVW that you got all this sway, and so you kind of have to take it easy. This truck drives unbelievable through a windy canyon at high speeds, especially when you choose in sport mode on the Liquid Springs, which we'll talk about later. One of the greatest comparisons to me is right now my daily driver, my vehicle, is a Ram TRX. Thing's incredible. It's like a Baja super truck. I've added a little more horsepower than stock, so it's pushing about 800 horsepower. It's got that coilover suspension, so the ride is so good. These, with the Liquid Springs on them, ride better than my Ram TRX. I promise you. Like, it's going to seem crazy that something this good, but the ride on and off-road is better with Liquid Springs than my $100,000+ Ram TRX pickup truck. Another great feature is we don't need to adjust any sort of airbags for our load. We don't need to manually do anything. Liquid Springs has its own sensors. And so if you hook onto a trailer, or if you add a bunch of weight to the back of this truck or the front of this truck, you put 5 passengers in it, it automatically senses that weight and adjusts the suspension accordingly. It's such a cool feature. A lot of my background is in off-roading, including racing, and so it's really important to me that something performs really well off-road. So as we engineered these and build these, we need to be lighter and stronger than anyone else out there, and that was our purpose and our main focus as we designed these. So this is full aluminum. The R value is great. You're still going to lose on any build. You're going to lose most of your R value out of your windows and doors. We're using the same windows that any high-end builder is using, so the construction of this is super solid. I also like that for international travel with an aluminum box, is that if you got in a wreck, you hit a bridge, you hit a tree limb or something like that, this is going to be a lot easier to do either a full repair or a minor repair to be able to get you so you can continue on your travels. A big advantage of being so much lighter than the full GVW of the truck is that it's going to handle better. On road, if you need to swerve to avoid an accident of some sort, a lighter truck's going to perform better, and then that translates even more when you're off-road. Is if there's areas you want to get into and you are too top heavy, it's way too scary driving a vehicle that's right at its GVW limits. The brakes aren't going to work as good, it's not going to accelerate as good, you're going to be very tippy. We purposely engineer to have anything heavy in this truck between the axles. That way we're trying to center that and keep the weight centered better for a much better experience and much better performance on and off-road. It's been my experience in these trucks that you actually like to spend a lot of your time outside of them. And so we try and make the experience when you're just hanging out around camp really great. Part of that is tunes. I like music. Sometimes, you know, I like a podcast or something. So we got these marine grade speakers out here. We've got a subwoofer that's tucked away inside. So you actually have some bass outside. They're plenty loud. And so it makes just for a great place to hang out. If the sun's out and bothering you, you got this big shade awning that goes clear across the top here to try and keep you cool and comfortable. Let's check out the garage on this truck. One of the changes we made is we made the garage bigger. We added, by lifting the dinette, we made it so there's a lot more storage here. You can control your stereo from here, so you have, I mean, you can also do it from your phone, but if you didn't want your phone with you, you can control the volume, skip songs and stuff right here with that controller. Here's your outdoor shower. If you want to shower outside, I find that I use it mainly for like washing off my mountain bike or something after a ride, or your dog gets into some, you know, garbage and you want to take care of clean your dog off. So that's with this port here, that works great for anything you need to spray off with the hose and shower outside. And tucked into here is the subwoofer that we talked about. Also, your whole heating system that heats up the glycol, and then your cold water from your tank runs through that. Such a great system. Like, you can literally take a hot shower as long as you want. It keeps up until you run out of water out of your tank. Also, I find that if the weather's somewhat decent, I do most of my cooking outside. You know, it's nice just to have the big cooker, so we love Camp Chef. All of our builds, we've always chose Camp Chef for those. And so on this particular one, we've got two burner stove here, and on these heavy duty sliders, we've got a triple slide. So get your flame clear away from your truck. Have the ability, you know, it folds out, works terrific. So that is one thing, is we have an option that if one of our customers wants full electric, so you're not having to use any propane. This one obviously is going to take us, you know, a propane bottle that we have a storage rack for in the truck. But if you wanted to go full electric, we can do an electric cooktop that is on sliders from the outside. There's also 120 volt power on the outside. That works great. We love taking electric motorcycles. They're kind of the hybrid, the smaller little, almost looks like a big mountain bike. Talaria, Surons are some of the names that you might have heard of. Nice to be able to charge them out here, so you got the power here. Also nice that when you're cooking, if you needed to run any sort of power for a blender or something like that, that you have your power right here. Now we'll move around to the back of the truck. This is our custom, super strong bumper. This particular build, we chose to put a 20,000 pound, another 20,000 pound come up winch in the back with synthetic line. You've got a 2-inch receiver hitch right here. You got, you know, obviously use the factory trailer brakes and stuff. We've rated these for 14,000 pounds for towing. So that will tow most of your large trailers, you know, tow a car, tow a Jeep. Most anything you want to tow that's in that kind of medium weight range or less. Also, it's important, if you had to change this tire without a hoist of some sort, that tire weighs well over 200 pounds. You would know you did something that day if you had to get this thing off. So make it super simple. You have this whole hydraulic lift system. We chose manual on this because it's just a lot more reliable. A back of a vehicle gets a ton of debris. If you're off-road, if you've ever driven in the winter, the back of your vehicle just gets all that blow-by that comes back in to the back of the vehicle. So this stuff just gets hammered. So we wanted something that's just going to be super durable, super reliable. So it's a manual pump, only takes you a few, like less than a minute to drop that thing down. And then you can adjust it right at the right height so you can roll the tire and have the lug nuts line up without having to lift a tire to get it onto the system. That works great. This side of the garage, we do, on a lot of these are one-handed opening, so if you have something in your hands or whatever, you're able to open it with one hand. Even these lower ones, you're able to click them out with one hand, so you have double the security, especially on something that folds down, so you can still open that with one hand. So in here we've got our propane tank storage, you got your shore power storage, the jack handle for your hoist for your tire. And also, I don't know if you noticed when I opened this up, the lights turn on automatically. So we chose inside and outside that when you open up any of our cabinets or any of the doors, there's an automatic motion sensing light. So that's how these work. And that way you could leave it open and not be drawing down power. But as soon as you reach your hand in here to get something, the light's going to turn back on. Pretty cool feature. Over here is where you fill it full of fuel. Coming back over here is your shore power. And this is if you were at an RV park and you wanted to hook up, you know, to permanent water. If you do that and you own one of our trucks, please don't post that online. We don't want anybody thinking that somebody's in an RV park. If you do that, We got to cover the logos. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to damage our reputation with, but it is there in case somebody for some reason thought they needed to be in an RV park. And then coming over here, this is the business end of the truck. That's your black water, 5 gallons. It comes in like a suitcase. You pull that thing out, super simple. It goes out, you're wheeling it into the truck stop bathroom or porta potty, whatever you find. And yeah, that's the business end of the truck for sure. Over here is your clean water. So the cool thing with this truck is you only have to fill it with gasoline and water. With the solar and everything else, you're not filling up propane to run your heaters or your air heating system. You're not using propane to run a hot water heater of any sort. So all you have to do with this is fill it with gasoline, and then depending on how much water you're using, you fill it up with water every so often. With this holding over 100 gallons of fresh water, that gets you by for quite a while. We also reinforce a lot of areas where, it could be potential of a seam pulling or something like that. So we've got all these custom laser cut aluminum pieces that really support the structure of this vehicle. And on top, we've got our rub rails. That's if you're going over, into some trees or something like that. That can protect the top of your truck, including your solar panels. So that kind of wraps up a quick overview of the outside of the truck. I want to go show you the inside. We chose to go with a digital security lock on this truck, so it makes it nice that if you want to leave your keys and stuff inside the truck, you can use this to access your camper and not have to worry about all the different locks. As we go inside, you also got electric steps. You got a door catch that holds the door in place, so if you're in the wind, it's not going to blow back on you. Let's go check it out. All right, up here we got our penthouse suite. We have a high-end mattress company specially build our mattress so that it can be a low-profile 6-inch mattress, so you have more headroom in here. We also, on the newest build here, we've increased the headroom a few inches, I think about 6 inches on that. Just give you a little more room in here so it didn't feel near as claustrophobic or anything, but still kept our overall height of the camper down, which is important. Up here you got these high-end windows. You also got a skylight that opens up all the way so you can check out the stars at night, also escape if there is an emergency of any sort. You've got plenty of power up here. You've got if your inverter's on, you got your 120 volt up front on both sides. You have a 12 volt power up there, as well as USB chargers. You see that we have little phone mounts to holster your phone. We put little racks up there for hats or whatever you might want to use up there. Back here you've got grab rail to make it even easier getting in and out of bed. Most people that buy these trucks like me are a little bit older. We finally have a little bit of money, so we need all the help we can get. So you got to have a grab bar to get yourself in and out of here so you don't break a hip and end up in the retirement home too early. You've got tucked up over here is your own air conditioning system. So that's nice. It's dual. We have it front and rear. So that way, when you're sleeping, if it's hot and you're running the air, you need to run the air conditioner. The air source of the air is a lot closer to you. We have smart TVs in here, so you can, if you're that bored and you just have to watch TV when you're camping, hopefully you're not and you're doing something else fun, but it is important. Sometimes we just need to check out. There is a TV in here. It's a smart TV that you can use Bluetooth. All your streaming stuff comes to it. We can also add Starlink to any one of our trucks. We've added, most of our customers have us add Starlink to it. And so with that, you're able to be just like being at home, stream anything you want. Over here you've got a step that gets you into bed. It's also more storage. Works great for laundry or any sort of dirty items at all right as you come in the truck. Here this works great for like your sandals or your shoes as you come in and out of the truck. Great place to put them there. In here is just additional storage for miscellaneous items. Then we chose MOLLE panel. We have MOLLE panel throughout the truck. It's it's a little military and stuff like that. It is is it trendy, but is it practical? I see a lot of people just put MOLLE panel all over everything, and I don't even think they ever even know what it's used for. But to not just be trendy, to be practical, we chose MOLLE panel because we have some empty panels in this truck. And rather than putting another cabinet or something, maybe someone doesn't need that. The advantage of a MOLLE panel is that you can buy literally thousands of different attachments that attach directly to it. So if you wanted a small duffel bag like this, you wanted to be able to hold flashlights and like a lighter for a campfire, any sort of security things, a gun for security, whatever. All those mounts are made for that. So we have tons of MOLLE panel in here, and then you can choose how you want to outfit it best for your personal style of overlanding. Over here is the brains of the truck. So since I'm the dumbest guy in the company, I won't go into too many details here because I'll confuse myself and I'll confuse you. But this is where you run everything. You got your awning here. Cool thing I didn't mention about the awning, it's also got wind sensors in it. So if you left camp and a wind storm picked up, it's going to sense that and retract itself automatically. You've got your lighting panel here that also is your stereo, your pump. You can kind of see what's on or what's off. Tunes, I do know how to figure that out. I love having some good music when I'm out camping. Air conditioning system with your fan speed adjustment. Right here, this is what is the true brains of that. That's going to tell you everything you need to know if you really geek out on how much solar's coming in versus how much power you're using. That's going to tell you all. It's active, it's live as you're looking at it. So yeah, that's the brains. Here in the bathroom, so it's nice, the door fully opens out of your way so you can go, you know, either into the master suite or back here into the main camper. Also, it's important, in some of our first builds, you just had an on-off switch for the light. And so, you know, I'm at that age where I'm a minimum, I gotta pee once a night. And so when you get out to do that and then you turn it on, I mean, the lighting in this is so bright. It's like I didn't want to go to sleep now for 2 hours because my brain thought it was morning. So on this one, you actually have a dimmer, so it works perfect. You can have that light super dim for when you're doing your business. I love the shower system in here. I mean, it literally works better than my home. You set the temperature and it adjusts to that. It keeps that temperature the same during your entire shower. You can also adjust the water pressure. So if you know you want to be out for several weeks and you know, not use up all your water too quickly, you adjust that pressure for, you know, a less pressure if you're trying to conserve water. The Dometic toilet works great. The bowl, I mean, if you want to sit left or right or whatever, the bowl swivels and moves. And then you've got a fan up in there. And then we've got a medicine cabinet that also has additional storage in it. You can do what you want. We chose these. We kind of like having them mounted there, the pump style for your shampoo, soap, etc. Kitchen's turned out really nice. I love that, you know, the nice quartz countertop. These sinks, these galley sinks work great. Like, you know, you have different accessories you can buy for these. Here's your kind of drying rack you can fold out. Your cutting board can go in and out of here. There's, you can do like a strainer for, you know, noodles or something like that. Lots of different options you can buy for these. Also, our gray water is 40 gallons, so you have, you know, capacity there. We're over 100 gallons of fresh water. That's quite a bit of fresh water. You know, if there's a family traveling in here, and you're showering every day, that's probably about a week's worth of water. If it's a couple traveling and you're still showering every day, that's probably going to double your time a couple weeks. If you're being conservative, you could even stretch that a little bit too. Also have the induction, that's just, you know, electric cooktop. So again, that's running off your batteries, which are charged by your solar, also charged by the truck. So it just works great to cook on, it's safe. The way those work, if you're not familiar, is that there's special pans that you buy, induction pans, pots and pans. This won't get hot unless that special pan is sitting on them. So it's cool. We also added to this truck, our newest build, a cutting board that slides out. It holds itself in by some heavy duty magnets. So when it gets in there, that's gonna keep it out. So when you're driving down the road, it's not sliding all over the place on you. You also have extra lighting here above your kitchen that's also dimmable. And as I mentioned on the outside, you're going to see that there's motion sensors inside here. When we open this up, there's the light turning on, lots of storage up above. These are also full aluminum doors. We really try, I mentioned earlier, lighter, stronger. That's kind of our, that's what we're going to hang our hat on. That's what we want to do. So these, you got aluminum cabinets here, aluminum faces, aluminum frames, super durable. You're going to wear out in life long before this cabinet wears out. In particular, like drawers like this, we have kind of a cool shelving system for extra storage, for access. You know, these things push out of the way to be able to get to your, say you want more of a pantry in there that you're using that for, so that works out great. And these are also like pinch lock. They, you know, the more you turn them, the more they pinch. That way you're not getting rattle out of a lot of your cabinets, as you've seen in like cheap RVs and stuff like that. They make, sounds like a tin can being kicked down the road. These are all, you know, that press fit works really good. Over here you got more storage, just your closet with the hanging rod in here. We have the option. Some people are like, last thing I ever want to do is bring something that needs to hang. So we also have options of different shelving systems that can be put into this space. More storage down through here. Go into your refrigerator and your microwave. You know, some of those things pull some power. The refrigerator doesn't pull very much. Microwaves and the cooktop, which I mentioned earlier, will pull some juice. So speaking of juice, we got 1,200 watts of solar on this particular build. Our solar setup is super efficient and gets you the maximum amount of power to charge those batteries. Back here in the dinette, it's kind of the eagle's nest. Sits up high. You have such a great view around you. It's important. You take these trucks anywhere. So you want to get away from everybody. You want to get to a great spot. You know, maybe up on the edge of a mountain, edge of a cliff. You're hanging out here. You're spending some time here. This just turned out great. We did diamond stitching on all the cushions here. We had the same mattress company that made our high-end mattress do a 4-inch version here. So this table goes down, makes this into a hair smaller than a queen bed, and for additional people to sleep if they want. This also, with this pedestal that we use, it's electric, so and it has its own sensor. So you just hit buttons, it automatically goes to the height to make it into a bed, and this will lift 400 pounds. So pretty unlikely you're ever gonna have a problem with this pedestal lift. You know, super high quality. We buy those out of Europe. And you also have another condenser back here for your air conditioning so that you can have the 2 different zones for your AC. You got a Dometic powered vent. Something that's nice, just bring some fresh air in. You can open the one up front or open a window, and then you have the directional, so you can either push air out of here or you can pull air in. So say you're cooking or whatever and you wanted to, you know, pull that air out from whatever you're cooking, the smell of that, then you could just suck the air out of here. Inside of here, we've talked about the tunes outside. Inside, we have 4 speakers inside. So you got 2 back here, 2 in the hallway. And then you also, for safety, it's important. You know, we don't want any problems in here. So there's actually a smoke detector that also has carbon monoxide detector built into it also. So that's kind of a basic overview of the inside of the camper. Now let's go check out the inside of the truck. This particular Ford, we chose the Lariat package, which is the highest trim package you can get on an F550. So it's great. We got leather seats, massive touchscreen, you know, heated and cooled seats. Most every option that comes in a luxury truck is in this truck. Also had amp steps. I'm 6'3". This truck right now is in its normal height, so I could jump in there if needed, but there'll be a day I won't be able to. So the amp steps work great. These are called the Amp XL, which makes it even lowers more than a traditional amp step. Makes it easier to get in and out of the truck. So I've been bragging earlier about the liquid springs, and so here's your controller for that. In here on your controller, you got 3 different ride quality settings. So you have your sport, it stiffens it up, normal, and then a comfort setting. Off-road, I like, normally normal's fine. If I'm doing some off-roading where it's washboardy or the truck could be rocking back and forth, I'll use comfort to, you know, just make it a little bit smoother. If I'm doing a windy road, sometimes I'll adjust it to sport, but really I find that just you're in normal works for 95% of your driving. It's going to default to the normal height. You have 5 different height settings. I believe it's about a 2-inch increments. So you have about 10 inches of height adjustment on this liquid springs. So if you're off-roading, you need to get over something that you're worried about dragging your running boards on or something like that when they're tucked up, put it in the highest setting. Then you got a mid-height, a normal, a medium-low, and then a low. So if you're at camp and you want just to make your access in and out of that camper door even easier, you put this on low, it drops it down onto the bump stops. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this truck. Hopefully you love it as much as we do. This is going actually to our customer. It's leaving in 2 days, being delivered to a customer in Boulder, Colorado. Excited for him to get it. Just an amazing truck, turned out really well. If you have more questions or you want to know more details of this truck, my partner Casey has another video on this truck that goes into a lot more detail. He's the engineer of the company, he's the smart one. I'm just the dumb guy that likes to have a lot of fun. And this truck's a whole lot of fun. Thanks for watching.